today's session is going to be a very important topic, which is marketing, but not marketing for anyone. It's marketing for founders. And as a founder, leaving this, you will hopefully get a new perspective on why marketing is important and the benefits that come with it, but also the struggles. I'll be giving you a framework that will help you achieve your goals in marketing, whatever they are. But to start with, I like to have a very practical approach of doing things. I'll be writing a few questions here on the whiteboard, and then we'll be answering those questions. So we'll be starting with the first thing, which is why is marketing important for founders? Then we will be talking about the struggles that come with marketing for founders. And then from there, we will be talking about systems for understanding your target audience and building content pillars, creating ideas, and publishing them. The last few bits are the things that we have in Meadow Social. So we'll be using Meadow Social as an example to also show a little bit of a demo of this platform and how it can work for you. But it all starts with the internal motivation of a founder. You're a founder today and you want to do marketing. Or why is marketing important even to start with? I mean, as a founder, you're associated with the company you are working at. Also, employees are associated, but not as much as the founder. So if we put an image of this guy here, who do you associate Elon Musk with? Well, you would associate Elon Musk with a company like Tesla, right? You would associate him with SpaceX. You would associate him with Starlink, but mostly Tesla, I would say. The thing he says and the actions he does on social media, it has quite a big effect on his company. I mean, now we're taking someone that is at an extreme level, the richest man in the world. For regular founders, maybe this is not relatable, but it also applies. It's just a bigger scale. So if you look at the stock market for Tesla for the past month, you can see it dropping. It's going from $420 there at the peak to $281 now. And a lot of it is bad PR to Elon Musk. And it's been going down for quite a while, actually. And you could see that also in his other companies. I can see this a lot with other founders where their company is associated with them. So what they post on social media, if they post something negative or something provoking or such, that impacts that company they work in, which is important. But if they are successful with their marketing on social media, and there's like different types of marketing. There is social media marketing, which is what we'll be focusing on. But let's look at all type of marketing. For a guy like Elon Musk, marketing is important for him as he runs multiple public companies and he wants them to succeed. So what he says with a simple tweet can affect the stock market. I mean, you see that with the coins like Dogecoin, for example. Every time he talks about it, he has such a big following base that people will go and buy it. This is with like nowadays influencers, and companies have discovered this, that people listen to other people. So companies are utilizing influencer marketing to get their goals out. So, like companies like Canva, Slack, etc., crypto companies, they're all utilizing influencer marketing. So other people that are doing this full time to get the word out because they're not comfortable enough to do it themselves, or they don't have the base, the founder base. So marketing is important for a founder because no matter how good your product is, if people don't know about it, then it dies. It kills the company. So there is a certain reason why, if we take two examples, I'm going to take like a company here, and I'm going to take a individual personal profile. I'm saying that, well, people associate your personal profile with the company. I mean, the biggest reason here is that when you're posting from your profile, you're getting about 8 times, research says 8 times more reach than if you post using your company. I mean, the companies or culture of the company, it's a bunch of people. So it's a bunch of personal profiles and they have way higher reach. So if you have the correct strategy in place, you could get the word out about your company to many, many more people. And that is the art of why marketing is really important for founders. If you want people to hear about your company, if you want them to become loyal customers or subscribers, then you need to target their problems. And this is something we will be talking about when we go into the content pillars. But say you are sold now and you want to start marketing as a founder because you see that this is going to give you opportunities, you see that this is going to give your company growth. But what happens when you write your first post and you're trying to click publish? Well, this is where the struggles happen, and there's a lot of them. It's not something that is unique to only you. I'm going to be mentioning some of those struggles, and I think it's going to be relatable to a lot of founders. One is imposter syndrome. I mean, since maybe you haven't done this before or such, much, you feel that you're an imposter. So why should people listen to you even? Starting a company is a risky thing, and founders, they are risk takers. Usually taking risk in life, it pushes you forward. And publishing on social media, it is considered risky. Why? Because you could, you could be as big as Elon Musk one day, and then a lot of people will hate you. That's the nature of social media. There's a lot of hate. The same people, if they meet you in person, they will smile, say, wow, you're doing so good, right? I love what you're posting. But behind your back, they will say something else. And that's the sad nature of social media. And then we think also that a lot of people care, or we care about other people. And that's why we say, well, what if they don't like our post? We feel like once we publish, they are going to judge us. And this is why we are afraid when clicking the publish button. And then it's like, what if it goes wrong? What if what I'm posting is not interesting? This is again, comes to the content pillars. Imposter syndrome, aka risky, not knowing what to post about, not knowing how to write hooking content. What type of contents are people interested in on a platform like LinkedIn, which is a pro platform? What is the type of post, if we can say, if it's like a personal post or a certification or a new job change, what works on LinkedIn? These are the questions you need to ask yourself in order to build engaging content so you can reduce some of those syndromes. It is risky, but as a founder, you are a risk taker. People that start companies, they believe that they can change the world, or they just want to have a better life for themselves or such. That's why they start companies. And risk comes with it and comes with a lot of growth. And it's quite fun, but it's very uncomfortable, right? Growth is never comfortable. When you're growing, it doesn't feel like comfortable in the start. And then you look back and you say, wow, okay, I'm very happy I've done this. And then being an imposter, it's the saying of like fake it till you make it. A lot of people doing that nowadays, and especially with AI, there's less and less personal aspect of things. People connect with people. When you meet someone, you have like kind of two type of faces. You can show your true identity, and the more you've researched this identity, the more you kind of like research into your inner depths, the more comfortable you are with yourself. I hear this quite a lot, like, oh, I know this guy is crazy. Well, they call that person crazy because he's very outgoing, for example. So imposter syndrome, it usually comes from not researching yourself enough and not developing your identity, because our identity is kind of like judged on where we worked before. And then if you are a founder, now you are shaping the way forward. And if you know who your target audience is, and you know what their problems are, and you have the same things, you believe in what you're doing, then they will connect with you. They will see that. And then you're not an imposter. You're saying like, I'm one of you guys. I have the same problems and issues, and this is my journey. And then care. Care is a very dangerous thing. The older you get, the less you care, actually. So the younger you are, you might be caring a lot about like feelings and so on. But at the end of the day, it kind of all depends on your exposure to the world. If you've spoken to hundreds and hundreds and people and it becomes a routine, and you have gotten hurt before and such, then it's building up your personality. So your care, it becomes like more focused. You start caring about your loved ones and the closest ones, but then for the other ones, it becomes more like a professional approach. And then when you've never done this before and you don't know like how social media works exactly, it's really difficult for you to do this, because like, okay, what should I post? What type of content should I post? Should I post about myself, like my views, or should I post about things I'm interested in? All these things rush into the founder's mind. I'm going to help you build a system which will reduce some of this risk for you. When you're starting off, the system, the method, you want to first start by thinking, who is my target audience? If we are at this approach, your personal profile is connected to the company. Well, who is the company trying to solve the issue for? Who is the target audience for the company? So for example, my company, we are trying to solve problems for founders, freelancers, entrepreneurs, single business owners, indie hackers. So our target audience are our customers at the end of the day, and they have problems, so they have very little time. So how are they going to prioritize their time so they can build content? Well, if it's something you've never done before, it's always going to go last and it will not be done. But just knowing who are your target audience is the first step of building a good content system. So you would like to answer this question, it's just going to be like target audience. And then I'm going to write out my target audience. And if you haven't thought about this before, this is a great exercise. And I'm a very big AI person, so I like to use AI as much as possible for things. So if you want help of AI, is like you could just tell it, I am doing this. So this is the company or the business you're trying to build. And I'm wondering who is the perfect target audience for this. And then what you want to do, you want to use something called deep research. And the deep research, it's an option you can enable. And then this option allows you to go online and kind of like find your competitors as well. It is a free charge using a tool called Grok. So instead of saying this and this, I will actually like fill in what I'm trying to do. I am a founder and I am trying to solve the problem of marketing for founders, for busy founders to be specific, and getting the word out about their product. Who is the perfect target audience for this? And then we can let that run, meanwhile, for companies, I'm going to say. And then in terms of like the different channels you can use, today we're very focused on social media, but I'm just going to paste in this image here. And then this is valid for every single business in the world. If you want to market your company, this is like the hottest, right? You can contact your company. People already have trust you, and you could try to ask them, hey, do you know anybody that is interested in solving this and this? Would you be interested? Saying that is to someone else, it's kind of easier for them to reply, and it's not very salesy. But contact your network is a channel you could use to market. This is also marketing, but it's just like invisible marketing because you're maybe sending SMS. It's more a direct outbound marketing. And then another approach is paid ads. So you have all these social media channels which you can pay for ads, and then they will show it to the target audience you're interested in. So, finding your target audience really with anything, it's the first step. I see a lot of founders like, I want to post about things that are interesting for me. And they start posting, and then people don't engage with them and they quit because they're not getting this positive reinforcement. They're not getting views, they're not getting likes. And then it's like, oh yeah, okay, it was just a phase, like a week or two, and then I'm done. I'm not going to engage anymore. So find your target audience. That's really important. Paid ads, you can pay Google, you could pay Bing, you could pay Twitter. Those two are kind of the one is SEO and the other one is social media and physical. Then content marketing. So content marketing is one of the most powerful things. It's what make companies like Slack and Canva succeed. They create content about the problems of people, and then it reaches those people that are having this issue. They're like, oh wow, I didn't know that there's a solution for this. And now they become more and more known, and people start, if you're solving a real issue, nobody cares about the company itself. They care about their own problem, and if you have a solution for that. So showing that through content marketing is our main focus. So how can you create content for LinkedIn, for other channels that is engaging and it hits the problems of those users? And this is what content pillars are, creating different libraries or themes that target a certain topic. So if I'm running a marketing agency, personal branding will be one of the topics that people are struggling with. Another might be like they are struggling with sales. A third would be stories of your personal struggles. I'll be showing you exactly how we can build out a system where we will start wide, just write out all the topics we are interested in speaking about, and then niching down to 3 to 5 of them. And then cold outreach is like when you find someone that you've never spoken to on social media or other platforms and just send them a message. That is cold outreach. It could be also an email. And then on this side, I have all of the collaborations. If you have a good name, if you are like CNN and you go to a company, it's like, hey, do you want to write about us? They will say, yes, yeah, sure, you're a CNN. They have a brand, right? So targeted market blogs, you can just create a list of other blogs that are trying to solve the same issue that you're doing. And this, when I say blogs, this could be podcasts, it could be events, it could be any type of targeting. You create a list and then you go after those type of people. Influencer marketing is something we initially started speaking about, and it's that when you cannot afford doing this by your own, it's too uncomfortable, well, you can collaborate with influencers, creators. I like the word creators more. When they are talking about your product, they already have a following base that they managed to build that trustworthy relationship with them. It's not a random one, it's a very loyal follower base. There's a higher chance that this influencer marketing and contacting your own network has the same success rate or even higher. I mean, always people, they take some time to build trust. If they see you in action, if they see the value you bring to them, then you have built that trust. And that's what the influencers of today, the social media influencers of today, they give a lot of value, and that value converts into trust. Again, your content pillars, they should be giving value, or your content marketing, you should be giving value. That's super important. And then PR, so just reaching out to every single newsletter, every single person that runs a newsletter or such, and try to make a content piece about what you're doing. This one is SEO is the most cryptic, because I feel like everybody's saying, oh, SEO, optimize it, and it's going to bring you a lot of growth. Well, what I've seen is like a lot of these first-time companies and founders, they use the word SEO a lot and SEO optimization, but they don't really know what it is. They just have this idea that this thing you do, it's like a technical thing, and then it gives you tons and tons of traffic. But SEO really is about creating content that fits your audience, that answers your audience questions. It's a lot of this, like target audience. They have problems, and these problems you are creating throughout these content pillars or throughout those themes. And then, of course, they need to be optimized a certain way, whether if it's a blog or a newsletter or such, so people could find it. You need to start with the basics, which is understanding your target audience. I've seen companies that have been running for a couple of years, and then when I ask them the question, who's your target audience? Well, we contacted a bunch of people and they said they were interested, so this is our target audience now. I mean, I think being aware of who you're going to target and their problems is super important when building a marketing strategy. Who are you building it for? If I'm building my content strategy for developers, it's going to be completely different than if I would do it for founders, because they just are interested in different type of stuff. They are triggered by different type of stuff. Founders, they like to be philosophical and speak a lot about a certain topic. I could just discuss road mapping and vision and so on for hours. Not very, a lot of them are not very hands-on. While the developers are like, oh, I want to build it, right? I want to build this. So they're interested in different type of content. And then giveaways, right? You could give away the thing you're offering. And this is artificial way to kind of boost your company because you're getting the word out. People associate something free with bad. At the end of the day, whether it's expensive or it gives value and they pay for it, then it is good. This is why we buy like expensive designer stuff, because we have this understanding that expensive is good, it's better quality. While if it's cheap, if there's a watch that costs $50, there's one that costs 50,000. They have the same mechanics inside, but the one that costs 50 is more accurate. A comparison between digital watches and analog watches. The watch on your phone, which has a crystal, it is way more accurate. It's like a fraction of a second offset, while the mechanical one is way worse. It has multiple seconds a day, depending on the brand you have. But people say still, wow, it's higher quality. But what is quality? Is it it can keep time? I imagine for a time device, it is it being able to keep time. But no, it is not. For them, it is the price they're paying. They're associating it with quality. So giveaways, I mean, you want to be careful a little bit with the giveaways because you don't want to sell yourself too cheap either. So giveaways could be bonuses, for example. You're giving extra value. You want to be careful with this because I feel like with a lot of first-time founders, they just want to give everything for free and they compare it to the logic of supermarket. So it's like, oh, in a supermarket, when there's a discount, everybody buys. Well, it's different mechanics. And then collaborations, which are the true solid when you have a brand and people start coming to you and want to work with you because they like the stuff you're working on. And me, I've been through all of these different types of steps. I've created a company before, which was a media company. And then we were doing marketing for others, doing PR, SEO, giveaways, and collaborations. And I've done every single mistake that you can do in each and every one. So I will be sharing this knowledge with you, but most importantly, the system we have built, the framework I'm showing you today, it starts simply by defining your target audience. Who are you trying to solve the issues for? And then what is it you can speak about? What the company is solving and the vision of the company? It should already be a content pillar of your strategy. So what we'll do now in this exercise for the content pillars, first asking the AI, Grok, with a deep research. I'm going to ask it, who is my target audience? And it's going to give me a list. And then And this is kind of like if you're doing competitive analysis, we as humans, we like to compare ourselves. And also companies like to compare each other. But this is very time consuming and it's a bit like energy draining. When I did my first competitor analysis, I spent weeks looking into clicking around and so on. But now you can literally do it with minutes with Grok and deep research. So it's good to compare because you want to see if there is a market for what you're doing. So the target audience of people speaking about personal branding, is there a market for that? Who is the best? And what type of content are they creating? This is a question you could do, you could ask, and you could get it, you can get the answer for in a few seconds. I'm gonna also draw out a flowchart. We'll go through systematically in this session. So I'm just, again, gonna run Grok now, grok.com, and do a deep research for my target audience. And it's gonna give me some suggestions. I'm gonna be critical to it. And then we do a revision there. And then from there, we'll try to list out content pillars. And then for the content pillars, gonna have like subtopics. And then we will start creating ideas for those and publishing them. And slowly but surely, we will grow our audience and we get more opportunities.
The struggles that come with marketing founders are so strong that people never really start or find that this is important because they haven't seen examples of success. They just see the big ones like Elon Musk and such, and then like, I can never be as big as them. So, and then they never start. But like the imposter syndrome, the risk, the care. If you're starting a company, you're taking risk. The more insane the idea is at the time you're creating this, the higher risk you're taking and the higher the reward. I'm going to try to use myself as an example for this struggles for founders. The idea I am working on today, it's Metal Social, which is a platform you can connect all of your channels to, and then it will help you create engaging content. It will create the content that your target audience wants to see, but it will just take you into a level instead of starting from 0, you want to be at 70%. Then we do that through something I never thought would be possible. It's through training an AI model to understand all of your previous posts and tune it on psychology books, the best materials that exist from the best creators in the world, the ones that have like on LinkedIn, like if you have 1 million, then it's like the same as 100 million on YouTube. Taking all of the lessons from content writing and so on and training the model to be your personal writing assistant, then you're still in control. So I don't believe that AI can take that human aspect because all of the ideas for the content pillars, like people connect with your personal story. That's what's really dangerous with the way social media is evolving now, is that so many people just like write me a post about AI and then they just give it 2-3 words and then the AI just gives them an answer, right? Which looks good and it has hashtag, for example, which you should never use on LinkedIn, or never, but has zero function. Then they start publishing and then it's very polarized because you're not bringing your personal story into it. You're just writing what everybody else is writing. And this is why I believe like most of those companies that are doing this will fail. And there is a better way, and a better way is just starting by asking yourself the right question. Who is my target audience? And this could change. If we draw this as a flow chart, I've done this here. This is the infinite feedback loop. You start by identifying your target audience, then you create content pillars, 3 to 5. 3 would be good, 5 would be perfect. More than that would be you're spreading yourself too thin. So if you're speaking about crypto, AI, HR, football, basketball, like there needs to be, the content pillars need to be kind of targeted. And you know why it should be targeted? There's a very simple reason for that. If we think, okay, I'm starting from 0. This graph here is followers and this is time. So I want to reach a lot of people over time. Well, the actual growth is going to be like exponential. The people that have a lot of followers, their audience is very diverse, right? And it starts like compiling. With my company now, with the previous company, reached like 100,000 followers, more than 100,000. And now every time I log in, I get like 50 new ones. You know why? Because there is a momentum, and I'm not posting anything, I'm not active, but they're like, people see like the certain size and then they start following it. I think growth should be more of like a percentage thing, and I think 5%, it shows that you're doing things correctly. If it shows growth below 5%, you need to tune your methods. And the industry standard for marketing, if you're growing by 5%, it's amazing. While going with 5%, if you're going from 100 to 105 followers, you have grown by 5%. But then people say, oh, you're not growing. Well, you're growing with that percentage, and if you keep compounding that over time, then it becomes exponential. So within a year, you're at 10K. And then you have reached success. And now when you reach 10K, you're not getting 5 50 followers, you're getting hundreds, right? Because of that compounding effect. And that people don't understand it. The reason of not spreading yourself too thin for the niching down, there's a very specific reason for that. It's really hard to find the initial followers, and then it starts exploding. So if you are very targeted and you have you're niching down, so you're talking about a certain topic that you know that your target audience is interested in. So where we are with AI right now, people are very interested in saving time and testing out these tools. They're curious and they want to see that. They don't necessarily have time to see that, like automation and so on. When you start creating that as a content pillar that solves their issue, which is they're curious, they don't want to miss out, and you're creating it in a good way where it's hooking, and the content flows in a way that's easy to read and it's more like a story, so it doesn't feel like it's AI generated. The AI generated content, people hate that. Just stop generating everything with AI and posting. People hate that. They see it. They feel like it's not you, and they don't engage with you, right? Imagine like being polarized. You want to be unique. A brand is a unique identity. So why are you just doing everything else everybody's doing? You want to be unique. That's the whole point. So if you want to get your followers really quickly, niching down and having the content pillar very specific. The more specific, the higher success you get in the start. If I would start a tech channel today, I was like, I'm gonna start creating videos about how-to guides for Python. I will not get the traction. You know why? It will most likely fail. The reason I would not get the traction is there are bigger channels than me that are doing how-to Python videos. Well, the momentum is in AI, for example. What are people searching for? If I'm delivering what the current momentum is, I will grow with it. If I just do what I'm interested in, not what my target audience is interested in, I will not be able to grow, and then all of my efforts will fail at the end of the day. So you need to niche down in the start, be very specific if you want to succeed. That's super important. I hope that comes across. Niching down will allow you to grow with the momentum. That's the lesson from this. And then now, this process, you identify your audience and their goals. You create content pillars. Things are interesting for you, but again, it's not about you. It's about your target audience. If you manage to show that personal aspect of you and your backstory, and you manage to create your own style of writing and, being famous for a certain thing, that comes with time. It doesn't come from day one. I'm imagining like a lot of the founders we help, they're like first-time founders, so they need help with those basics and to land those basics in place. And then once you have the content pillars and you start creating content for them, then you're publishing them. And then you're seeing the response. You're seeing that in two metrics. You're seeing that in number of comments you get, the reach, and the likes. If you're small, it will be relative. Just to show you an example, I will be using myself as an example. Let me show you my analytics. Last 7 days, my post impressions, they grow by 200%. Followers go by 5%. Followers all inbound. I'm not reaching out to anyone. And then the post impressions are like 5,200 views, people for the different posts I'm creating. I told you, like, growing with 5% a month is amazing. And why? It's because I'm creating content people are interested in. Then it means I've kind of found my content pillars. They're not perfect yet. I've been revalidating, posting some stuff because I started very wide. I am interested in a lot of topics, and I've been into a lot of different type of fields, from media to crypto to consultation to IT to development. So I can speak about a lot of things. But the people I'm targeting, what are they interested in? And for me, I found out that they're interested in, for example, AI and how they can use AI to speed up their, work less, be more lazy. And then when you're showing them that, they're like, oh, wow, we don't have time to do this. So I'm doing it for them. And then this content pillar for AI content, it's exploding. And there's very few people doing it, especially on LinkedIn. There's like 1% that actually post. And this is where the dilemma for the founders is like, why would people listen to me? Well, statistically, if you're in the 1%, you're better than everyone because you're posting. But the art is creating content that is engaging. And how are you going to create that? Well, you could use a tool like Metasocial. Let me just show you this because it's free. The tool I'm speaking about is free, and I guarantee you that it will create better content for you. I talked about books, psychology, hooking, all of this. This model is trained on all of this. So you can go on the GPT store and search Ada by Metasocial. Ask it to, you don't need to ask it, just write a few words about the topic you want to write. And it's going to use the best templates in the world well in order to format this in a psychological way that is hooking. So it starts with a hook and it uses different type of what are the winning templates. So asking this question is going to be interesting. So it's different content styles that's trained on that's perfect for LinkedIn. And every time you ask, it gives you 3 variants. So this is definitely better what you will get from like ChatGPT, like normal ChatGPT. But what's really unique, if you learn with time to add your own style to this, that's where you explode, right? You start getting 5% and stuff like that. Again, 5% growth within a month is amazing. So within a week is really good. So how are you analyzing and doing the feedback? Well, you're doing it by looking at the statistics maybe once a week. You can see that here and you're seeing what's working, what's flopping. And we'll do less of the flopping, do more of the succeeding, right? And then for the audience, you can see who follows you and the new followers. Just to be specific on LinkedIn, creating content is good, but commenting, it kind of makes your exposure blow up, because when you're creating content, you're just targeting the current target group you have. So you're creating content to your followers. But when you're commenting, that is being seen by other people and their followers. So if they check your profile and they say that, oh yeah, he's speaking about this topic, which I'm also passionate about, then they start following you and you start growing. So in order to grow in terms of followers, you should definitely comment. It's one of the easiest ways. In terms of specific style of commenting, you don't want to be boring, not like agree and disagree, but more like kind of like trying to show your personality in that. And really easy way, if you want to cheat code, is just creating like 5 styles for your commenting and then just going through them every single day, and you will see results immediately on the profile views. But if you don't have good content from before, then people will not follow you. So just optimizing your profile in terms of the photo, the banner, and the heading, it goes a long way. And then in terms of like specific styles, like I like to use casual, provocative, and humor as a style of commenting, and being short. So casual is just like not being very corporate. People connect with people at the end of the day. Provocative is like if they say something, it's like you can disagree in a nice way and maybe provoke them at the same time. These type of posts, for some reason, they do the best because algorithms are trained on hate. No, I'm just joking, half joking. And humor, we like to be entertained. So be data driven when you're creating the topics, your content pillars. Be data driven. Now Grok is gonna paste out that target audience prompt. I mean, this new model is fairly new, so with Grok 3 there is 2 things you could do. You can do deep search or you can do think. So deep search, it scans the internet and gets lots of sources, sometimes up to hundreds of sources, and then it summarizes that and gives you an answer. So it's more like real time, more connected to the internet. And Grok is also trained on Twitter data. Twitter is like where the news happen. They happen there before anywhere else. So it makes this quite amazing. So once you get your answer, you want it to kind of think a little bit, resonate. So then you switch it to think. But first start with a real-time analysis and then switch over to the thinking. Doing the research for the target audience. I want to show you the process, right? I don't want to just like jump in. I want to show you the steps because I find that more valuable to show you each and every step and go into very deep details, because this type of stuff doesn't stick. It's uncomfortable. It needs a lot of intensive, like lots of talk, stories, and so on to get founders to find value in it. And now we have gotten this table of potential target audience segments: small to medium businesses, startups, growth-oriented companies, industry-specific. And with niching down, that is amazing for growth. Then later on, when you start going wide, you could actually talk about more things. But in the start, if you're talking about too many things, it will not succeed. I'm talking about this from experience. And you want to also grow with the momentum. So this is why speaking about something that is interesting and getting your sources right, knowing where to get your sources and so on, it helps quite a bit. And the more you do this, the faster. So this is my target audience. And it says here, description, like in-house marketing, cost-effective outsource, growth focus. This is where it needs a little bit of tuning, but I believe the sources it got from those 50 pages is already pretty okay. So now this is where you keep asking it, tell it a little bit more information about yourself, and that will help quite a bit to focus it down. So then if you would build content pillars for these target audiences, what would they be? Again, you could use AI to do that. And now it's creating content pillars for these target audiences. And this is something you could refine. For a founder, the founder should take one of the content pillars for the company, and it should be one of their content. And Another one should be trying to infuse that with their personal story and where they're coming from, because that builds trust over time. So it's created 5 content pillars. So marketing strategies for growth. All of my target audience is interested in growing. So can you show them different techniques and different things you're doing in order to grow? For example, this chart I showed you here, marketing channels for a startup. Well, my target audience, one of them are startups, so they're interested in growing. So all this type of content is strategic, is targeted towards filling that. I would say it wasn't like one of the things I was most passionate about, to create charts and stuff, but that's what people wanted, so I started doing more of that. So marketing strategies for growth, that's one of them. Then the next one is cost-effective marketing solutions. I don't believe in this one. I mean, cost-effective is not something people or my target audience is interested in, and I don't want the one that are cost-effective. I want the ones that are ready and scaling up. Because if you're cost-effective, just go to the cheapest option and buy it. So I'm not gonna take this. Industry-specific marketing insights. Yeah, industry-specific is amazing, but I want to do my own sauce on it. So industry-specific AI marketing insights. How is AI being used in marketing? This is new stuff, right? That would be interesting for those companies, because also I'm trying to sell them an AI product at the end of the day. Then success stories, and if I would summarize this to success stories or stories, but they don't need to be success stories. This is such a bad recommendation from our friend Grok. Success is good, but usually if you can do a story where you failed and then you succeeded, that's 10,000 times more powerful. So think of everything you do. Like running a startup is very risky, and a lot of things don't work. A lot of things you have to change vision, you have to pivot sometimes. All of these are stories that people are super interested in, and you sharing them in a nice way, using, for example, that AI I showed you, the free one that is trained on the best templates and so on. It will reframe it for you in a very super nice way that allows to use the right hooking and the psychological effects that will save you the pain of writing it completely from scratch. It will take you maybe 90% there. So success stories, case studies, but stories, any type of story that is kind of relevant. With LinkedIn, just since we were talking about LinkedIn, there are some winning topics like AI, HR, workspace, remote working. These are topics that are prioritized by the algorithm. So if you want to have an easy win, you could just make a story about things you care about, your values. It will also feel very natural. You will be sharing something that you're passionate about. In terms of clicking the publish button, if you're uncomfortable with this to start with, well, start with the more generic one, the narrative one, which is industry specific AI marketing news. Do it once a week, or do maybe a tip you've learned. You can research it as well. You should be doing that if you want your company to grow anyways. Let's say the goal, if you're starting up for your content pillars, building trust. That's kind of a common one with all of them. You want to build trust because people don't know you, and especially if you're growing, then you need to kind of repeat yourself. So same story, you kind of have to do it multiple times. The thing is, you're trying to solve problems, right? You want to address their pain points. What are they struggling with? That's what they are interested in. And, comment, engage, offer advice. Check out the templates. I could talk for days on how the post should be formatted and the reasoning behind it and so on. But the AI is going to just do all of this for you. You're just responsible for building the content pillars, and one personal stories, one more taken directly from your company. And then you could just keep refining this with AI. And every single week, I would suggest every single month. That's a bit easier because you could see a month is a good period to evaluate something. I've been doing mine for about 15 months now. just posting, and honestly, a lot of things didn't work in the start because it was things I was interested in, but my target audience wasn't interested in. And then this is where I'm developing this system and trying to find what is the best type of content to post. So now we have our content pillars. So what do we do from there? We create ideas. This is now what I will be doing. I will be taking those 3 content, let's just do the AI, because it's available for everyone on our AI bot. And then I want to create a topic for success stories. So I write it here, and then I was okay, I want to create a topic within this. So I think, do I have any stories? Maybe this is how I grew my YouTube channel to 25,000 followers from scratch. I started by creating content that is very specific to a certain pain point. Then started getting feedback from people and delivering more on content they wanted, my target audience. And I grew to this amount within 25. Starting small, then going wide is the way to go. This is enough to just have a rough draft and go. It's going to create 3 variants based on this. With the ChatGPT version, I would say sometimes you need to just ask it a second prompt. Just say use winning templates. We have fixed this in the platform, or we're going to fix it on the platform. There's a little command you have to. Here, I grew my YouTube channel to 25,000 from scratch without paid ads, viral luck, or complicated strategies. You don't need luck. You don't need fancy tools. I mean, this is basically the same thing I'm telling you, but it just made it a bit nicer, right? So you take this idea and it is a part of your content pillars, and this is how you do it. You get 3 variants as well. Maybe I am biased because I created this. I find that these templates are really nice and super easy. They flow very good. But I would just take them and just rewrite them a little bit with my own voice, or not just copy paste it. That gives you the best reach. And then you publish it. You just click the publish button. Regarding publishing, just like if you want advice, if you're able to publish when the people are most active, because the first few hours are the most important, otherwise the post would flop. And in the start, it takes some time to get the engine warm. So don't give up if you don't get engagement on the first week. It takes a month, and after a month you will see what of those content pillars have gotten good results, and then you will revisit, review, and you will take the topics that succeeded and you will do more of them, and you will take the ones that failed and you will do less of them. That was Marketing for Founders. I hope you are ready to do some more marketing now as a founder and build trust and address the pain points, and you understand this with like content pillars and how you can revisit and renew yourself and such. And if you have any questions, you could just send me a message directly if I have any questions or comment. But I found that most people actually send messages afterwards. They want this one-on-one experience. So I'm more than happy to do so. And please let me know like what part did you like and what part you want to see more of, because we are also like target audience driven. So what are your problems, what are you struggling with, and how can we solve this and keep enhancing it? Thank you so much for watching. Bye.